Do whatever you like, for I am always on your side.
I thought my world was frozen, until you have molten the ice.
You learn from Eunuch Shun that the girl in Consort Rong's palace is Nian Shelan, the younger sister of Nian Gengyao. Considering her unruly and spiteful manner, you are hesitant to tell her your identity. This morning, you got up early to serve in Consort Rong's palace. According to the rules, Nian Shelan must greet Consort Rong every day. However, she has not come to see her for 3 days now, and Consort Rong is not pleased. You carefully help Consort Rong to sit down and set breakfast down on the table. You then listen to Consort Rong's inquiry to the supervisor aunt.
Is the lady not up yet?
I heard her voice just now in the rear hall. She must be up.
Consort Rong snorts coldly and suddenly points to the bowl of crab ball soup on the table.
Bring her this bowl of crab ball soup, and tell her to come and see me after breakfast.
Understood.
You can't help being a little surprised when you see that, although Consort Rong looks sullen, she still cares that Nian Shelan hasn't eaten breakfast. Consort Rong has finished her breakfast, and Nian Shelan has still not appeared. You can't help but secretly worry at her.
The breakfast was a little salty. There's a bad taste in my mouth. Go and make some Bilo Chun tea for me.
As you walk out of the main hall, you feel that your clothes are too cumbersome for making tea, so you decide to change. You are ordered to come to the tea room, only to see that the original labels on the tea cans have been torn off, and that the cans have been mixed up. You walk out of the tea room with anger on your face, and see several maids on the porch pretending to tend the flowers and plants there.
Was it you who did it?
We have done nothing. Isn't the tea room your responsibility?
Who said anything about the tea room?
The maids are stunned and begin to quibble.
You just came out of the tea room, so of course we assume that something must be amiss in there.
You know that accusing them will do no good, so you quell your anger and go back to the tea room to check. You smell the teas, one by one, in order to distinguish which type is which. It's not easy for you to identify the Biluachum tea. After soaking the tea, you bring it to Consort Wrong's palace. You see that she is sitting on the couch, while Nian Shalan is kneeling on the ground.
I hear that the 5th prince came back to see the 18th prince with the folk physician yesterday. After taking some medicine, his face now looks much better.
His Majesty was pleased. He went directly to visit the 18th prince in Concubine Mi's palace. The Emperor praised the 5th prince for taking such care of his brother, and also praised the folk physician. The physician has now been appointed to work in the Imperial Hospital.
The concubine Mi has been constantly worrying about the 18th prince's health. Now that she has a physician, she can rest easy. Help me to prepare some tonics, and send them to Concubine Mi's palace. Tell her that when the 18th prince's health improves, he can take these tonics to regain his strength.
As you wish, Your Highness. The 18th prince will be better soon. Speaking of which, I have not seen the 18th prince in a long time. Such a talented mind. He has been sick for nearly half a year and has not been able to see anyone.
Yes, he is a wonderful child, just like Yinzi was when he was a child. Seeing him brings me great joy.
The supervisor aunt and Consort Wrong have become lost in conversation, while Nian Shalan remains kneeling on the ground. Her face becomes darker by the second, as if she is about to explode. You reminded Consort Wrong that Nian Shalan is still kneeling, and so Nian Shalan becomes interested in you, initiating your bond with Nian Shalan.
Your Highness, the tea is ready. I heard that the young lady was here, so I prepared an extra cup.
Forgive me. I've been chatting with the supervisor aunt for so long. Get up quickly, young lady. I'm afraid I don't have anything particularly special in my palace, young madam. Except for this tea. The Emperor knows that I like tea, so he asked the inner court supervisor to send me some. Would you like to have a taste?
Thank you, Your Highness.
Nian Shalan reins in her anger and sits down on the couch with a smile. She picks up the teacup and tastes it. Suddenly, her eyes brighten.
This tea is much better than anything I've tasted before. What kind of tea is it?
Bilorchun tea. However, it only tastes so good because of this girl's fine skill at extracting its full flavor. If you like it, I can allow her to make tea for you for a few days.
Nian Shilan looks at you with a touch of interest in her eyes.
Thank you, Your Highness. I accept your offer.
You knit your brow and wonder why Nian Shilan seems different today. She seems much nicer than before. Nian Shilan sits for a while, until Consort Rong says she needs a rest. She allows you and Nian Shilan to leave together. You are filled with anxiety as you follow Nian Shilan to the rear hall.
Don't worry. I won't try to embarrass you.
You jest, my lady. I am not worried.
You helped me just now, so let's forget about what happened before. I'm really not that mean.
As she says this, Nian Shilan suddenly gasps and covers her stomach while squatting down.
My stomach hurts.
My lady.
You squat down in panic. Her teeth are clenched and her forehead is covered with sweat. You nervously reach out to grab her shoulder and help her back to her room.
What did you do to the young lady?
This is not the time for your petty nonsense. Go and call an Imperial physician.
You yell angrily. The maids look at each other and quickly turn around to run out. You lift Nian Shilan up from the ground. She's weak in your arms, and her lips have turned pale. You help her into the room, pour a cup of hot water, and place it on the table.
My lady, drink.
Nian Shilan weakly opens her eyes halfway and tries opening her mouth. You carefully lift her up and wait for her to drink the cup of water.
My lady, how do you feel now?
Good. Much better. But my stomach still feels uncomfortable.
She frowns and her eyes flicker. She almost begins crying and buries her face into your shoulder.
Don't worry. The Imperial physician is coming.
As you talk, the sound of approaching footsteps comes from outside, and the palace maid comes in with a man. Your eyes meet, and you're surprised to see Pei Zimo standing there. He also looks excited, but this is not a suitable moment for you to reminisce about the past.
Imperial physician, please help us.
Nian Shilan pokes her head out from the quilt. Pei Zimo takes her wrist.
Your pulse is stable. It's most likely just an upset stomach. I'll give you some medicine for your lower abdomen to soothe your intestines. Please follow me to the kitchen to prepare the medicine.
You worry about Nian Shalan's mood and comfort her before leaving. Nian Shalan is grateful. Your bond with her increases. When you come to the kitchen, Pei Zimo prepares the medicine from his medicine box and puts it into the medicine stove.
Do you remember how to boil medicine?
Of course. 3 bowls cooked in 1 pan.
You happily take over the duties with the medicine stove, measuring out some water and putting it on the stove.
Jimo, how did you come to be in the palace?
How can I feel at ease knowing you were alone in the palace? I heard that the 5th prince was looking for a physician for the 18th prince. I recommended myself to him, and then I came to the palace.
Jimo, you are so kind to me. I don't know how to repay you.
Your eyes redden, and your heart is moved with embarrassment.
Silly girl, you're like a sister to me. Naturally, I must protect you.
I see we were not wrong about you. Whenever you see a man, you can't help but make a move.
Suddenly, a palace maid's voice comes from the door. When you look back, you see the supervisor aunt standing at the door with a disapproving voice. You unconsciously loosen the hand holding Pei Zimo's sleeve.
Imperial Physician Pei and I are old acquaintances, so we were just catching up.
Pleased to meet you. She is my little sister. We grew up together. And meeting again like this after such a long time, naturally we became excited.
Imperial Physician Pei is very polite. However, there are rules in this palace. It is strictly forbidden for maids to engage in affairs. Please mind your manners to avoid any possible misunderstandings.
Thank you for your advice. We shall keep it in mind.
The supervisor aunt leaves with several of the palace maids who have been trying to cause trouble for you. Pei Zimo's face shows some traces of concern.
You don't seem to be having a good time in the palace.
You tell the truth. Pei Zimo feels that you are quite right. Your luck increases.
This happens all the time in the palace. Do you think I can really be on my toes all the time? All eyes are on me here. Is there anything I can do to win their favor?
You intended to let Pei Zimo rest easy, but you see his eyebrows tighten.
Anyway, Jimo, you don't have to worry about this. No matter what they say, I am the Class 11 handmaid. They can't do anything to me. You can always just buy a big medicine box, put me inside, and carry me out of here.
What are you talking about?
Paisy-Mo is amused by the image you described and finally smiles. You relax and sigh.
By the way, I felt that the young lady's abdominal pain was a little strange.
You tell Paisy-Mo about Consort Wrong's strange behavior today.
Crab balls are not suitable for breakfast, but they would not cause such intense abdominal pain. What else did she eat?
I didn't see her eating, but after Consort Wrong asked the supervisor ant to prepare the food, she also asked me to prepare Bilochin tea.
That may be it. Crab meat is cold in nature. If you drink tea after eating it, it can cause discomfort, and it will cause abdominal pain and flatulence.
When you hear this, you realize that the seemingly harmless Consort Wrong may actually be crueler than you thought.
The court is indeed a dog-eat-dog world. I know that you will not leave the palace if I ask you to, but you need to be more cautious and trust no one. If there is anything I can help you with, please let me know as soon as possible.
You nod earnestly. Paisy-Mo sees how clever you are and decides to pat your head.
The supervisor aunt says that if the medicine is ready, please send it to the madam. Some people never learn.
You can hear the disdain in her voice. You and Paisy-Mo look at each other and both laugh at the same time.
What are you thinking, Jimo?
Biting dogs don't bark.
Barking dogs don't bite.
You turn your mind back to your duties. Although the two of you appear relaxed, your hearts are not without worry. You simply cannot bear to see each other distressed. Once the medicine is fully boiled, you go back to Nian Shalan's room. Although her face is still pale, she seems to have recovered somewhat. After serving Nian Shalan, Paisy-Mo takes her post.
She's already much better. Avoid eating raw or cold seafood for a while.
Thank you, Imperial Physician. Please help send him.
After you see Paisy-Mo off, you come back to the room to find Nian Shalan gnashing her teeth in anger.
It must have been that old witch, Consort Wrong, who did this to me. I wouldn't go greet her in the morning, so she sent me that crab ball soup.
For a while, you don't know whether you should admire her insight or her tenacity. After all, adding poison to crab ball soup would be too straightforward and easy to leave behind evidence. When entrusted by others, you are loyal to a fault. Since you have promised to take care of her, you should tell her the truth. Your bond with Nian Shalan increases.
Consort Wrong would not directly add harmful medicine to crab ball soup. It would be too easy to leave behind evidence.
You're right. I thought so too, so I drank the soup.
Just now, I asked Imperial Physician Pei. Although the crab soup was cold, it alone could not cause such severe pain. It was after drinking tea that your stomach was thrown out of balance.
Well, no wonder she asked me to drink tea. I'll settle this with her.
Please heed my words, my lady. If you accuse her, Consort Wrong will only deny it.
Ugh, I'm so angry. And all I can do is stay quiet and bear it.
Please do your best to bear it. There is no evidence. So no matter how angry you are, there is nothing you can do to Consort Wrong. You will only make her angrier. Consort Wrong's actions seem to be a small punishment for a great offense. Try not to cause trouble in the palace. If you remain calm after this palace maid test, you can move out of the palace.
I don't want to pass appraisal.
What do you mean, my lady?
Why are you so interested to know? You're still Consort Wrong's girl, are you not? Why are you helping me?
Nianchalan's face looks embarrassed, but you can't help but laugh at her childish nature. However, when you think of her temper, you can't help but hold back. You reach down and bring out the jade pendant Niang Gengyao gave you.
I am loyal to the one I have been entrusted to.
Hey! This is my brother's jade pendant. Why do you have it?
General Nian and I met by chance. He knew that I was a palace maid, so he asked me to advise you properly if I had the chance. As per his wishes, you should not be too rash.
My brother is truly great. Why was I not blessed with his temperament?
Your temper really does require some improvement.
Your heart is full of unspoken criticism. Nianchalan suddenly grabs your arm.
My brother asked you to take care of me, so your relationship must be very good. I should call you sister from now on. The way you took care of me was really like a sister.
Let us not get ahead of ourselves. I'm a maid and you're my lady. If people were to see us so close, I'm afraid it would cause trouble.
Then I'll stay close to you in private.
She is extremely intimate with you. You suddenly feel that although she is impatient, she is also a naive and romantic girl. You don't know why she always acts so disrespectfully towards Consort Wrong.
I have not had much contact with you, but I feel that my lady is not a rude person. Why do you deliberately try to anger Consort Wrong?
The Empress intends to betroth me to Prince Chang. I don't want to marry him. I've been deliberately annoying them so that even if the Empress tried to put us together, she would know that we are not a good match and... would not insist on taking it any further.
Nian Shalan pounds her quilt with vexation.
Yesterday, my mother went to the palace and warned me that if I ever made trouble again, she would directly ask the Empress to pair me with Prince Chang. If I am obedient, however, they will try to find a way to refuse.
In this case, you must remain respectful to Consort Rong. She's a modest person. If you give her face of your own volition, she will not make trouble for you.
I will follow your advice then.
You talk with her a little more and walk out of her room, but you see the supervisor aunt standing in front of you with a stern expression. You can't help but feel a little worried. You don't know how long she's been standing outside. Could she have overheard your conversation?
Hello, Aunt.
You are a very wise young woman. Remember that it is the duty of a servant to protect your master. As for who your master is, that needs to be made clear in your mind.
Indeed, Aunt. I was just looking after the lady's health and tried to comfort her.
The supervisor aunt doesn't say anything more. She turns and leaves. You take a deep breath. What she said might actually be good advice, and she may just be worried that you are getting too close to Nian Shalan.